Good afternoon. Good evening. We are back on here. Want to welcome all of you to SKTV. Today is April 8th, 2022. We want to welcome each and every one of you here today. We're actually broadcasting to you from Phoenix, Arizona, where we currently are. Um, we'd like to welcome all of you. Each and every one of you would like to welcome you to the show today. Let's go ahead and help us share the show. Today we are here for another edition of the mental health and wellness series that we've been having. Um, Today is the continuation of intimacy versus isolation, as you are already aware. We want you to help us share the show. We changed time today from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. because we were running a little late behind. We had some things to take care of, and so we had to run a little late. But we're grateful to be here. Help us share the show to the different groups, other platforms, and so forth. Help us share the show. We want to make sure that we are reaching enough people as we can here with this series. Very important series for us to talk about, especially the age group. We momentarily will be starting here. We just want to make sure we make the disclaimer. Let's get the disclaimer going. First thing first, this is not a therapeutic session. This is not a therapeutic session. This is meant for education, information, and empowerment or upliftment, however you want to term it. But let's share the show with other people. Invite others as we will be going directly into the program here. Also, we want to make the disclaimer that if you choose to come on the show or call in or whatever now, it's going to be at your own discretion because we cannot assure or ensure your privacy, considering this is a public forum. So just so you're aware, that if you choose to do that, it will be at your own detriment. And whatever information you decide to give out to the public, you'll be held responsible for it, not me and not SKTV. We cannot be held liable for it. So, thirdly, we are zero tolerance for drama under this platform, especially under this particular segment. We don't do drama. We don't do noise. If you have issues with someone, it's okay. You can take it with them out of here. We don't do drama. When we look through the comment sections, we see your comments and we see drama going back and forth. We have to either delete the comments or decide to send you for safekeeping. We don't do drama. This is a healthy space. This is a space where people come to learn. So we don't do drama. We don't do personal attacks. Nope, we don't do them here. Just so you're aware. And if for some reason you disagree with us, that's fine. You can respectfully disagree with us. We don't tolerate any insult. We don't tolerate any abuse. Nope, it's not going to happen. Not under this platform, this particular platform. Nope. If you're mad, you're so mad, you can go write on your post or on your Facebook feed or other places, but don't write no dramatic, no disrespectful, no cursing thing on here. Even if you disagree with us, disagree with us respectfully. And when the time is afforded, it's okay for you to come on and make your case or whatever now. But what else? What did I miss? No politics under here. Zero tolerance for politics here. We don't talk politics here. We don't go against anyone or say anything here. We don't. Just before I start the show, when we come back from the break, from the musical break while we share the show, I will speak briefly to the Joy Howard Taylor situation from a clinical perspective, understanding some of the things that's going on, to the statement that she made. I'll speak to it very briefly. We'll get into the topic. it's important for us to speak to it. I've gotten lots of, whether it was calls or text message or whatever it is, some people have asked me about it. I'll speak to it very, very briefly. I'll make a statement or two on it or about it as we proceed into this conversation. So invite other people. Any political thing you want to say or whatever now, tomorrow we'll be on for politics. You are free to come on and make your political stance or so forth. But today, focus on mental health and wellness. Topic, as you can see on your screen there, today's topic is intimacy versus isolation. This is the continuation we started last week. We're going to continue and finish up today. What else did I miss? I didn't miss anything. So let's get quickly into the musical break. If you want to be recognized, you will have to write or say something on the live feed or so forth, and we'll recognize you. If not, I have no way to be able to tell unless I go through my phone and so forth. But let's share the show, please. Let's invite other people. And let's get this podcast going as we get onto our music that most of us don't know how to interpret. So let's get onto our musical break here and let's share the show. Thank you. We might do one or two songs. So we'll do the first one and then we'll do the second one just to enable us to share the show as much as we can. Thank you so much. Today we change timing, so some people might be off the timing. Some people probably waited 6 o'clock and they didn't see it or so forth. Today was a very, very busy running around and other things day. So we ran late. But let's get on it. We can do this. We can share the show. We can invite other people. Let's do it.
post a new car on Facebook. But that's so la la. You working better. Loving and acting jealous, say you photo. My advice for you in my way and got to confess. Confession. You gotta confess. You must have the impression. Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing. Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing.
It's never be another man trash, it's another man treasure. Another man fool, it's another man poison. Got your code, according to your measurement. Got your code, according to your measurement. The player ain't garish, now they play you booty. Just because so impression. Impression, fake impression. Impression, yeah. You don't even know my story. Or you want to share my glory, oh yeah. Everywhere you my way, oh way, oh Zangale. Everywhere you my way, oh way, oh Zangale. Every touch you my way, oh way, oh.
Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing. Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing. Jeje, the hammer you driving nothing to keke. This a ballin'. The thing that we talking, they must stay right here. Stop spoiling my me. I'm living my life, oh. See, I'm living my life, oh. If you pay you, hey, oh, hey, oh. If you hold you, hey, oh, hey, oh. If you hate you, hey, oh, hey, oh. If you pay you, hey, oh. You don't even know my story. Enjoyment,
Oh my god, you're cute.
enjoyment, no more stressing. Enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, no more stressing.
All right. Well, thank you. We were able to share the show to some extent. Quickly, I'd like to refer to the statement of Vice President Joy Howard Taylor in most recent times, which has created some sense of problems for some people. Some would say it's created drama and noise. First of all, I'd like to start off by giving my position where I stand with the statement. I agree with Vice President Joy Howard Taylor. I agree. I know he has created so much of a problem, so much of a backlash from different groups, from different people. Part of the reason I agree with the statement for Vice President Joy Howard Taylor is because the statement in itself was not generalized. It was kept in context. And the context in which it was kept was the fact that parents, bad parenting, does contribute to some of these things. It contributes to it. And I know and I'm aware that she's the vice president. She has power. She has authority to some extent. And she can use her authority. But we cannot also neglect the fact that this statement is a factual statement. That yes, bad parenting can contribute to rape. Bad parenting can contribute to abuse. This is the fact. We should stick toward the statement or with the statement as opposed to running around it. Is the statement a factual statement? I also don't believe that this statement was meant to blame anyone or to shift the blame, because the statement in itself tells us that it does contribute. It's not the only factor, it's a contributing factor. Some of the questions that have been running through my mind are as followed. Is the vice president herself a victim of this statement? What can the vice president do to help parents enhance their parenting so that there can be good parenting, so that bad parenting cannot contribute to rape and abuse in the country? Another question that I've also been asking is, the vice president crying out for help as well? Some of you might think being in a position of power does not mean that you have challenges that you're fighting with as well. When it comes to these issues, these are not issues where we react based on sentiments, because we are dealing with human beings and we must deal with them from a holistic standpoint. I stand with what the vice president said, considering what's happening in Liberia. The increase in rape, abuse, or gender-based violence is so high. Now, I'd leave this with you. When it comes to the issues of human beings, of people being impacted from an emotional or psychological standpoint, from a physical standpoint, it goes a long way. We cannot ascribe politics to it. We cannot restrict it to politics, or because we don't like this person, or because we don't like that person, or because they're not in our corner, or because they're not in this corner, because they don't support us. So the issue of human rights violation, trauma, and abuse should be looked at in that context. No, it's wrong. It is wrong today. It is wrong tomorrow. I stand with the statement the vice president made. I would hope she would elaborate more, and I would hope she would tell her story at some point. But that statement is factual, and we cannot run away from that statement. We cannot ignore that statement and try to use other ways to avoid that statement. I'll give you a typical example. Most recently, if you were to think about it, the princess case, princess that just allegedly got murdered or killed, if you were to look into it, the family has become silent, the government has become silent about it, and so forth. What does that say to you? What does that say to you? We have a society, a nation, and a culture that seem to be complicit about the issue of human rights violation, abuse, and so forth. Some parents and some families have even gone to the point wherein they've compromised themselves. They've compromised the case based on different reasonings and different factors. So we cannot stay and sit around and say, oh, the vice president shouldn't say that because she's vice president. Well, the vice president is a woman, she's a mother, and she's a human being. I'd urge you to look into the vice president's life as well. Again, maybe she's a victim, maybe she's crying for help, and what can the vice president do to help other parents or other families who are victims as we speak of this whole issue of abuse or bad parenting contributing to rape? What can the vice president do? A few days ago, I wrote on my Facebook page, or on my page, I wrote a post, and I talked about something called parentification. When you have the chance, I want you to look up that word, parentification, what it means. That was just before the vice president released that statement publicly. Parentification is real. Some people might have experienced it, and we cannot run from the facts. We cannot neglect these facts. We have to stick with them. But let's get to today's conversation really quick. I just thought I'd throw in my 2 cents there because, again, I've been asked by a lot of people, and a lot of things have been going on. But I'm grateful to be here today to talk about intimacy and isolation. Last week, we were able to talk about intimacy. This week, we'll brush off really quick on what mental health means. We'll refresh and remind ourselves really quick, and then we get straight into the second part of it, which is isolation. We'll run quick through intimacy as a reminder, a quick reminder for each and every one of us. So most of the times people might ask, they might get this mixed up with psychological issues and so forth. So what does mental health means? According to the World Health Organization, mental health is defined as a state of well-being. Remember that, the state of well-being is defined as a state of well-being in which an individual realizes their own abilities. So their own abilities means when you reach a certain stage of your life, a certain state of your life, when you realize your own abilities. So that means, in other words, the opposite of that is if you cannot realize your own ability, then we have a problem. I'm sorry about that. I got to make this. Sorry. All right, let's get back to that. When you cannot realize your own abilities, then you have a problem. If someone has to help you with your own abilities, if someone has to make a decision for you, if someone has to replace your ability to make decisions, if a group has to influence your decision, especially in a negative way, you have a problem. You have a problem. You are in a different state of mind. And so your ability to be in a state of well-being, where an individual realizes his ability, not only that, but you can cope with normal stresses of life. So that means, in other words, in order to be mentally healthy, you must be able to cope with normal stresses of life. So I give you a typical example. When someone tells you because their boyfriend left them, because their husband left them, because their significant other left them, they are going to kill themselves. They are not in a state of mind that is okay. They need help. When someone cannot sleep because they lost their job, yes, those are normal. They come with normal stresses of life. They're part of normal stresses of life. Guess what? That person needs help. When someone tells you that before I dance to the party, I need to get high or I need to be drunk, they're not in the right state of mind. Something is not okay with them. It is not normal. They're not doing things that are normal. So in order to do things that are normal, it means you are in the right state of mind. When you can go to party or to any event without red cup, you have to drink. You have to smoke hookah. It is not being fun. It is not having fun. You are inducing your ability to socialize. Let me say it again. You are inducing your ability to socialize. But right, naturally and normally, you should be able to socialize. We're human beings. We have those abilities in us. Yes, when you go to these kind of places, there will be some form of shyness or so forth. That's where socialization comes in. That's where interaction comes in. Yes, it's a normal part of life. But when you get to the point wherein you will be stressed about it, that you have to get drunk, you have to be high, you have to be smoking hookah, you have to adapt by everything that they do there. Even though that's not what you would do normally, then you have a problem. When you think that you have to drink before you go to sleep, you have a problem. Let me say it again. Today I'll be a little louder because these things are things that we overlook. Over time, they tend to affect us. Whether we like it or not, these are facts. They will affect you, they will impact your life, and they will have some kind of control over your life. That means you will have to do with them in order to perform normally or to act normally in your life. And that's not how we are made as human beings. So another part of it also, to be able to work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make contribution to his or her community. My friends, when you get to the point where you cannot make healthy, good contributions to your community and to other places, you are having problems. You need those problems addressed. Now, one of the things that we've seen over time is people think that they can drink away the problem. They can forget the problem. My friends, you're wasting your time. The more the problem's there and you've not addressed it, the more it will persist, the worse it will become. So there are normal stresses of life. Let me tell you something. There are normal stresses of life. One of the normal stresses of life is you and everybody will not get along. Everybody will not like you. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And everybody does not have to like you. Everybody will not get along with you. It's okay. As long as you're doing what is right, what is acceptable, what is going to benefit your community and your society, you are okay. Everybody don't have to like the fact that you don't smoke or you don't drink or you go hang out. That's fine. They have chosen that. You've not chosen that. There's nothing wrong with you. So then on the contrary, if somebody thinks that you should get drunk or you should be high while you are at an event, or you should have a red cup or whatever it is to be part of the crew, someone might say, oh, well, he's judging or whatever. That's fine. That's fine. If you feel judged, that means maybe you're doing something that's wrong. That is okay. Once you start feeling judged or feel like somebody is questioning some things about you, maybe you yourself doing something that is wrong, you are automatically consciously aware that what you're doing is not normally acceptable. So you are already projecting those feelings on people. So if you come and you're listening and you say, well, I think he's looking down on us, or he's bringing us down, or he's trying to look down on us, and he's too judgmental, I'm not going to, that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. If you feel that way, it's good. The fact that you're feeling that way means that there is some sense of awakening coming to you. You just don't like the facts. You don't like to be told the truth. So if you choose to run away again or to go, it's okay too. Nothing wrong with it. It does not mean that your behavior, your actions will not be questioned. It would, at some point, by some people or by reality in life. There will be reality check at some point. So this is how the World Health Organization defines mental health. So be healthy mentally. You would be able to do many different things. Be unhealthy. It has an impact. It has an effect. But I want to skip quickly before we skip. Let's come back. Let's come back to this part. Today we are talking about love. We're talking about intimacy. Today we're talking about intimacy and isolation. Intimacy in a human growth and development, or psychosocial growth and development, has to do with love. Now, let me get this clear to all of us. Love means different things for different people. For some people, it means romantic activities. It means sexual activities. For some people, it means affection. It means connection. It means intimacy. It means building rapport. It means building relationships. So you will have to define in what context you want this to apply to you. Some people at this stage, and at this stage of your life, yes, this is one of the most important stages of your lives. This stage will help determine your future as you get older to some extent, based on the connections, the relationships, and things that you would build in this stage of your life. Very important. Very, very important. But in this stage also, this stage has the ability to break you down, to impact you emotionally, to the point wherein you'll be affected and impacted in society, wherein it might reflect a lot on you, on your productivity. Because the issue of emotions or emotional connection or support systems have a lot to do with where we go, how we go, and things that we do. Because when you don't have a support system, it's a problem. When you have a support system that is not a good support system, is a problem also. So in this stage, because you are between the ages of 18 to 40, you have the ability to determine who comes in your cycle, who does not come in your cycle. So at this stage, at your age, when you start to bring a bunch of negative things into your space, you would be held responsible because you are quote unquote mature. You are legally above the age limit for anyone to parent you at that point. However, at this stage also, if you choose to just not do anything with your life, you are not sick, nothing's wrong with you. You have your documents, you are grown, you are legal, but you sit in the house, you don't work. Your girlfriend's pampering you, or your wife or your significant other pampering you, and she tells you that she loves you, so you can't go to work because she's jealous that other people might see you out there, whatever it is. She is not doing the right thing for you. She is rendering you useless. Let me put it that way. Some of these things we have to say these ways so that we can get the message very clearly. At this stage also, it takes away some form of freedom and responsibilities from you as well as a human being. Because at this stage, you should be able to, by our definition, provide for yourself, be able to take care of yourself at most or at least. But if you are not there, then it becomes a problem. Then it's a question. Then your life or some things about you are questionable. So this stage is very important. But not only so, in this stage also, you build relationships. Some of us, you get intimate. Some people get romantically involved. And these things, when you don't make the right decisions as to who to get involved with as well, after maybe you've made one or two mistakes at this stage, then it becomes a problem for you. So I'll give you an example. If you have a child or you have children, and the parent and the father of this child, or let's say you always look at a child, oh, you would just be like a child, good for not your father, good for nothing, or whatever it is. Well, then let's check your history as well. Let's check your record. Maybe you've attracted a bunch of good for nothing men to your life. It's about time too that you evaluate your life as well, instead of blaming everybody else. In this stage also, people get divorced. People get married. People find relationships. They find happiness. Listen, wherever you find yourself in this stage, it is the stage wherein people will have intimacy or they would have isolation. It's up to you. You have to decide. But I say to you, wherever you decide to do, whatever you decide to do, intimacy must be healthy for you in this stage. You must set goals as well. The people you choose to bring in your life, whether they are just casual friends, mutual friends, the question you should be asking yourself, how do they fit in your goals? How do they fit in your plans? How do they benefit you to enhance a better plan and a better goal for your life? These are things you must be thinking about. Not necessarily thinking about being part of a group or being part of a friendship or having a relationship or being intimate with someone. It's not as important as how it would benefit your life or how it would help you, how it would enhance your plans and your goals. The question becomes now too, in this context of isolation and intimacy, the question becomes, what are your personal goals? What do you intend to achieve? What do you want to achieve? And what are you willing to do to achieve what you want to achieve? Because whatever you choose to do, going on with your life after you turn 18, and between the ages of 18 and 40, whatever you choose to do, if you don't have a plan, you will follow other people's plan. Let me say it again because this must resonate with you. Once you have no plan, you will follow other people's plan. By far, you will see yourself trying everything, being part of everything, trying to make everyone's happy, trying to be in everything, and trying to be like everyone else and not you, because you've lost yourself. You don't even know who you are. You don't know where you are headed. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want to do. Everything that is presented to you, you take it and you go with it. You want to be part of every group. You want to be part of everybody. You want to do everything everybody else is doing. You want to try everything. So you are lost. And there you go. But last week we talked about intimacy, and we told you that intimacy does not necessarily mean sexual activities, because most of us, once the term intimacy is used, people think it has to do with sexual activity or whatever. Last week we told you that intimacy had a lot more to do with it. We told you about the expectation in this age. You know, the expectations in this age is where you develop different relationships. Last week we told you that. We talked about it. We move forward. Last week we told you what intimacy actually means, where other people were thinking that intimacy means sexual relationship. It's not even a big part of it. Let me put it that way. So when you start hearing the word intimacy around, stop restricting it and confining it to just sexual relationships. It's more than that. It's bigger than that. Because even people that you get involved with sexually, when you do not have an intimate relationship with them, for the most part, it doesn't even last. It doesn't, because here's a question I asked you last week. So after the sexual activities, what next? What's next? What do you talk about next? What do you build your relationship around or on next? What do you do? Where do you go? How was your relationship funded? Is your relationship funded on you too hot? You too sexy? Well, guess what? I told you last week, you don't eat hot and sexy home. That's not what you eat. When you cook, when you make breakfast or dinner, whatever it is, hot and sexy, that's not what you make. That's not what you use to go to the grocery store. So there are some things that we must be realistic about. We must build relationships. We must develop relationships. And these things come with communication. They come with communication. They come with different things, different expectations, and all of these different factors. So we must take these things into serious consideration when building a relationship or developing a relationship. It's critically important that we do that. We cannot ignore these things. We cannot ignore these things. We cannot, because the last time I checked, the sexual activity is just for a couple of minutes. And the truth about it is, even as that not every day you want to be involved sexually. So then what is intimacy then? But every day you must have to deal with another human being. Every day you must have to communicate with another human being. So where do you build that relationship? So you see, so these are different factors that we must think about as we talk about intimacy in this stage, because it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. Stop settling for the boys too hot, the boy too sexy. Listen, it is not realistic. You watch too much TV. Wake up. There are some realistic things that you have to pay attention to. So last week we talked about intimacy and so forth. Yes, it's okay to also develop a good relationship. It's also okay to develop I'm not going to go there. You know, it's also okay to build up a healthy relationship or whatever now. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But that cannot be the central of it. That cannot be the central of it. You know, most times people ask, you know, what do you bring to the table, or what does women bring to the table? So you see, even in intimacy, you must be building yourself and your capacity up as well. Let me say it that way. Most of the times, you get so much carried away by love. We've heard so much different stories. You get so much carried about you in love, you forget about yourself to even capacitate yourselves. This relationship that you got in there, what are they taking you to? Where? Imagine now, you're so in love. Great. You need to bring a grown man to come and live with you. You feed him, you clothe him, you buy his shoes, you pay his bills. All he does is lay down in the house, play a video game, hack up the, either the gas bill, the electric bill, your cable bill, because some of them are not even mature enough to understand that they shouldn't be ordering pay-per-view, but they will order it. You see, so you deliberately bring all these problems onto you, all these immature, irresponsible people in your lives, only because you want to have a relationship, because you yourself, you have no definition of the kind of relationship you want to have, or the kind of people you even want to be with. It's okay for you to set standards. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it for you to set standards. There's nothing wrong for you to set standards. Nothing wrong with it. But you will have to keep it up, though. It's not on that, guys, because I can tell you that for a fact that, hey, If he has to sit in the house and eat all your children and cereal or whatever it is, he would do it. I mean, what else? You know, he would talk on the phone. Some of them would have the audacity to even call to Africa, you know, and hack up your phone bill or whatever it is. And when you come out, oh, baby, you know, I'm sorry, oh, baby. And then guess what? The baby got to pay all that bill, whatever now. And you will be working double. At some point, you might not even be able to take care of your own health or your own self or your own children. Vice versa, it happens to men, it happens to women. I'm saying, I'm encouraging you that even in intimacy, you have to ensure that at this stage, that your well-being, you have to ensure that you are capacitating yourselves. You know, if you have to go to school again, that's fine. Can this person support you while you go to school? If you have to get a different job to increase your income, is this person willing to change schedule or adjust themselves so that, you know, you can compensate for the children and do this? Is this person even to the point that someone, how can you think about it? Think about this. Think about this. You've already started having problems in your life. How do you go and invite another problem in your life? How do you do that? All in the name of love. No, that's not truth. Listen, don't let nobody fool you and say love is blind. Love is not blind. That is not truth. Love is not stupid and love is not blind. No, that is not truth. That is not truth. Love is not blind. If love was actually blind, you wouldn't have seen that person that you saw and went into. Because love is blind. And that means you will be seeing everybody. Why is it that when you went to the park, when you went to that to hang out, or when you didn't choose a handicapped person, you didn't choose a blind person, you didn't choose a crazy person, or so forth. Why didn't you do that? Saying love is blind. Why? Why? Why did you selectively, or you pick this person, or this person pick you, and you accepted them? And let me say this to all of us. Listen, I know some people have anybody God bring my way, we take them. Listen, wake up. Wake up. In intimacy, it has to start from you. You must like yourself. Stop telling people that you know yourself. Well, you know yourself, but the choices that you've made at your age, the decisions that you've made at your age, it speaks volume of you as well. Even having children, I've always told you, and I'll continue to say, pregnancy is not airborne disease. Especially to the women, you must select the men that you have child by. It is your responsibility to do that. Because pregnancy is not airborne disease. You didn't look in the sky and got pregnant. So it's critically important for you to even select the people that you will get pregnant for or so forth. Very important. Very, very important in your life. Very important. If you haven't gotten children yet, you're planning on getting children, listen, all that hot, sexy body, everything, it got time and go away. Trust that. It got time and go away. So the sooner you put yourself together, the sooner you align yourself for your own good, even in choosing intimacy, it will make a difference. It will help you. So, you know, and intimacy is very good because it helps, you know. Coming to the sexual part of it, yes, it does help. We're all human. People got to get involved in that part of life. It's your choice, whatever you choose to do. Having a good intimacy, I'm not saying sexual activities, having good intimacy helps make a difference. Stop making plow with your mom and your papa because they can help you babysit your children. Stop it. Stop making plow with them. Stop making plow with your babysitter. Pay the babysitter on time. They will help you take care of your children as well. Stop all of these small things that we do. You know, we overlook them, but they have the ability to impact us or to come back to hunt us. They do. It's important. It's important for you to be selective. It's important for you to maintain relationships. You can't fight everybody. You can't make plow with everybody. Some of you, even in your intimacy, your friendly relationship, you not make plow in all the group. You not make plow with everybody. You very erratic, very temperamental. You fight with everyone. You disrespect everyone. You know, it's like, okay, at what point do you even maintain a bond or connection or so forth? Who are you? You jump from one group to another group, from one friendship to another friendship, no consistency. When we check your record, you may plow almost everybody. They give you a chance that you may plow. Even your high school teacher, you may plow with them. We joke with some of these things, we laugh with them, but these things are very important because even some of these intimate relationships that we built over the years, they can speak volume for us. They can help us. They create a network for us. That's why references are important, even at jobs and so forth. So maintaining these different relationships, these different intimate relationships are very important. Even when you and somebody separate or you go your separate ways, it's okay. There's nothing wrong in maintaining a respectful, intimate relationship with that person. I'm not saying try to do, I hear people say, oh, I'm a baby man, I'm a baby pa, or, oh, fire, trying hard to catch, or whatever it is. Listen, at some point in time, you have to draw lines. At some point in time, you have to carry yourself with some dignity. You have to set some standards, and you have to do that. Nobody's going to do that for you. Nobody's going to do that for you. And listen, to those of us who are Christians, some of us who have personal relationship with God, stop blaming God for the calamity you brought in your lives. Stop it. Stop it. Get to terms with reality. Maybe change your preferences and your choices. Maybe you will learn. Start giving the pastor a hard time in the church. Stop it. Start going for fasting prayers and killing all the demons and speaking in tongues. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I don't care how much tongue you're speaking. I don't care how much demon you bind and you kill and how much fire you think in your village you will send to your village people. It doesn't make any sense until you start to change this thing up here. You start to see yourself a certain way and act a certain way. Nothing is going to change. So stop all that Holy Ghost fire. Some of you have burned your villages a couple of years ago because you've been sending fire there anyway. The village hasn't burned. So that means that it's a waste of time. It's counterproductive. Get serious. Make serious decisions for your life at this stage. Just imagine, you are 18. You are 18. You spent 22 years of your life. Imagine, spend 22 years of your life not investing yourself, not building yourself up. Plus, when you start to have children, I'll be as practical as I can today and as realistic as I can, because I don't want. Yes, there are theoretical part of this conversation where we can read from the book and we can read it like this, read it like that. That's fine, but we must be practical because these are the things that we are faced with on a daily basis. And I 22 plus 18 are 40, and I hope I'm still right on my math. I hope so. Let me double check. Let me see if I got it right. Yes, I think I got it right. But 22 plus 18 are 40. Mind you, when you turn 18, I want you to just think over your life when you turn 18. Some of us have children. The question becomes, even if you have children at this point, what can you do to benefit yourself and your children at this point? Some of you, at the detriment of your children, you would pursue love according to you. It is sad, despicable, unimaginable that some people would know that the children are being abused, but they will say to you, I don't want to lose my relationship. Shut your mouth. Don't put a man in trouble. And for some of you who are families and friends and you are told these things, I'm challenging you and I'm encouraging you today to report that person. And if you went to the church and told the pastor and the pastor is not seeking legal means and he's telling you to go pray about it, call the police on that pastor as well. That pastor is an accomplice. I don't want to say it to you. He's an accomplice. He's probably an abuser as well. I'm saying it to you. Because here you are tearing down the future of your children. And you sit there and you say you are in love. You're wasting your time. You are harming your children. Leave that library mentality. Let me put it that way. Get serious. There are some things that you must do. And when you start to have children, let me tell you something. Your children become your priority in your life. Let me say this to you. So that means if you used to buy 10 or 15 weeks, forget about the 10 or 15 weeks. Because if you continue buying that 10 or 15 weeks, that means you're going to increase the number of children you're having. Because all you're trying to do is to entice men to come and you mess around and you get pregnant again. Then you say, oh, the brand men, they're useless. They're men, they're too useless. And they can't do nothing. My friend, what are you doing so that you can stop the useless men, stop attracting useless men? What are you doing? So what is the problem? You are addicted to useless men too? Why all the people that can come around are just useless men? So you see, so you have a responsibility here. You do. You do have a responsibility. Intimacy is now all about getting sexually involved. It's about planning your future because after 40, now 50, now where are you headed next? You're old. You would need someone to take care of you. You would need your money. All the money you take working and spending behind that guy or whatever it is, guess what? That guy is moving. Trust that. I'm a man. I'm giving you direct quote. That guy is moving. Like we can say we move. While you're putting all those hours and getting old to take care of him, guess what? He's looking for somebody else to position. Sit down there. Sit down there. And you think you can keep that man in a little box, or you can box him in because you're buying all the Gucci shoe and all the Gucci shirt. You're wasting your time, my sister. You're wasting your time. And you yourself to my sister, while you are doing all of that, take care of your children, invest your money, make sure you do things that will benefit you. Because I don't care what you do. Listen, let me say this to you. Let me say this clearly from a man's perspective. There is nothing you can do for any man to stay with you. Or man will stay because he wants to stay. Let me say it again. I don't care how much you think you're hot, how much you think you're sexy, how much you think you're fun, how much you think you're beautiful. Listen, don't waste your time. There is nothing you can do to keep a man. Or man will stay because he wants to stay. I'm saying no amount of prayers, no amount of fasting, no amount of holy water, it will not work. No amount of holy oil. Start wasting your time. Even when you go to juju, man, the time will expire, you will leave. Because when you don't do what the juju say, or you forget about yourself, that guy will leave. So end of it, relax yourself. Take care of yourself. Even in intimacy, it's important for you to consider yourselves. Very, very important. So let's now that we've talked a little bit about intimacy, let's talk about what is isolation and what to expect in isolation. What really happens in this stage. Let me tell you something. Some things that people might not tell you. Some things that people might not tell you. The opposite of intimacy is isolation. Let me say it again. The opposite of intimacy is isolation. So that means if you don't have intimacy, you have isolation. And as we go through this, you will see it and you will understand exactly what I mean. The opposite of intimacy is isolation. So when you see people who are toxic, who don't even have intimacy with themselves, and the children, they don't like themselves, they come in public and misbehave, they are isolated. They're looking for relevance. Let me tell you something. When you have intimacy with yourself and you understand yourself, and you know who you are, like we were saying in Liberia, and you know how you carry yourself, you wouldn't need to come in public and misbehave to get attention. Because you understand that you already get attention from yourself. You really think, let me say this to you today, you really think I can leave from my house and look for somebody else to tell me, say, I look good in the face? That's not true. I see in the mirror, I know what's there, so I move with confidence. I don't move with low self-esteem. Oh, no. I'm making it about myself because I want you to understand. No. I'm not intimidated. I don't move with low self-esteem. I know I'm not struggling in the face. I thank God for that. So I don't need you to validate that. Whether you tell me or not, I already know that part of my life. So guess what? I keep it moving. You think I need somebody to make me feel good? You think I need, look, do you really think about this before we get into the isolation part? Do you really think you need to get in a club or to the party and get drunk to feel relevant or to dance or to be active? The things that are supposed to make you active, they're already there. You just need to engineer it. You just need to work it out with alcohol or substance. That's all you need to do. You really think you need to be part of that group to be relevant? You think you need to be a sycophant to be relevant? You really think so? You haven't had intimacy with yourself. You don't even know who you are. That is the reason people keep looking for groups and people to align with so that they can feel relevant. You have this inferiority complex. The thing you see in the mirror. Let me tell you something. When you look in the mirror, whatever you see in the mirror, if you don't approve of it, nobody else will approve of it. Let me tell you today. If you don't approve of whatever you see in the mirror, nobody else will approve of it. This is why many people go around. They isolated the thing that they must be part. Listen, the thing that must go out, the thing that must do this, the thing that must do that. Get me a computer, get me a Wi-Fi, get me a phone, get me TV, and get me a place. I see y'all. Y'all can be outside doing anything you want to do. Bon voyage. Y'all enjoy. Y'all be there. We will be here. Oh, I'll be here. Because I know within myself that I don't need to be part of a clique to feel validated. I know I don't need to go to a certain place to feel validated. Because when you've done certain things in life, when you've experienced certain things in life, other people want to experience it or whatever it is. Your level is not other people's level. You don't know what the next person is facing. You don't know what that person got to be doing everything they can to want to feel validated. So it's up to you to pick. It's up to you to look at yourself and tell yourself, say, yes, I'm confident of myself. I don't need to misbehave. I don't need to come in public and act up. But here's the worst part of it. Here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. The people who push you to misbehave in public, they are as isolated as you. Let me give you an example. If somebody is showing somebody a naked picture, and you take that naked picture and you can't talk about it, and you put it on Facebook, you're talking about a naked picture, or you're talking about somebody's sex video, or somebody on a personal life that don't concern you. They don't have anything to do with you. That person who is doing it, they have a bigger problem. They have a problem. But you who passing around sharing it, you who passing around and maybe giving them money or doing this other donation, doing that other one, you have a bigger problem. What you are trying to do, you are trying to hide your problem that you have. You don't want to address it. You think by enhancing that person to act fool or to make the fool of themselves in public, you think it benefits you and it solves your problem because they're bringing other people's problem outside. You think it makes sense to you. It doesn't make any sense. You are running away from your problem, but your problem is still there. It doesn't go away. I challenge, and as time goes by, we continue these different sessions. When we start to talk about trauma, most of the women will run away from this podcast because they don't want to address some of the things that they're faced with. It's understandable. It's psychological. I understand it. I know exactly what you might be experiencing. But the question is, running away from your problem, what good has it done to you? Years over years, you've been running away from it. What has it done for you? Has it changed the problem? Has it solved the problem? Can you, for once, woman up or man up, and say, let me address this problem. Let me get help. Let me seek help. So this is critically important, but let's move to isolation. Let's move to isolation because these things are very important. These things are very important for us to talk about. These are not some of the things we talk about in our culture and our society. So what is expected, or what does it mean in this stage of your life, isolation? So isolation, first of all, can happen for different reasons. Such as some people might be experiencing rejection. It could cause them to withdraw. Let me tell you something today. Let me announce to you today. Rejection is a normal part of life. Let me announce to you today. It's a normal part of life. The same way how stress is a normal part of life, rejection is a normal part of life. Remember I told you earlier that everybody will not like you and everybody will not accept you. It's okay that person that you got crushed on does not see you that way. It's okay. It is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You wearing short thing and having tete contest and butt contest does not make that person to validate you. I hear people say, oh, just let me, I want to be who I am. No, that's not truth. That was not you. You're only trying to impress people when you dress and act the way you're acting. But you know deep down that's not what you want to do. You know you're a person of substance and dignity. You know that. But you act up because you want to gain certain attention, because you want to gain relevance. And that does not make any sense because that's not who you are. So the person you are operating as becomes a problem for you because you have to adjust to this new lifestyle that you are not. That's not even how you were raised. That's not even who you are. Oh, and y'all leave people, y'all let to judge people too much. And let me do what I need to do. Okay, then continue. Fine. But when you live from there, when you sit by yourself in your house, guess what? You are crying, you are weeping, you are isolated. You know that you are isolated. You know that. Nobody has to tell you. You know that you are isolated. You know that. Some of you are dying with isolation. So you do everything you can when you turn on the blue app to misbehave. That even when your children, few years from now, when they should go back and look into the record, and some of you think this is a joke, people download some of these videos and they keep them. Watch your children. Watch your children who are in school, who are coming out of school very soon. Watch them being bullied because you were on this blue app acting the fool. Getting a couple of likes and a couple of views. You are acting the fool. And it goes a long way. You are isolated. So yes, being rejected is part of it. Also, childhood experiences. Isolation can come from childhood experiences. Some of you from neglect, from abuse. Some people from divorce, from death of partner. Or some people just from the fear of commitment. Some people are isolated because of different reasons. Let me just be honest with you. Some people never had a good family relationship and ties, so they're isolated. They're loners. Some people call them losers. You know, and all of this. And we see these things happening. Let me tell you something. When I see an 18 years old plus woman come on Facebook and literally misbehave, I see past that person. I just see the struggle that you go through. I see maybe the past, how you were treated, how hurt and how deep in your heart you are not happy. You are looking for temporary happiness. So even when you turn on the Facebook app, I see people trying to adjust themselves to celebrity status. Let me tell you something. Celebrities are not beggars. Go check all the celebrities you see. I'm saying this to you today. Wanting to be something or somebody in your head does not mean you are. I'll say it again. Wanting to be something or somebody in your head does not mean you are. And you must be able to live up to your means and your standard. You must. I see all these other women passing around, getting the say, all the young boys getting the say, talking about the rapper. You can't even speak good English, talking about the rapper. You're wasting your time. All that time you're wasting, if you are investing it, you're not getting a good job. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to get doctorate degree, getting a good job, putting your life together yourself. You will not be wasting the next 10, 15 years, jumping around, calling yourself rapper and tying your hair and looking like some kind of rebel and misbehaving. You will not be doing that. You will not be doing that. You can get yourself a job that you will work hard, and benefit your life or whatever it is. Who's going to select you? Who? All the American musicians that can sing better than you. Who come and look at you? They totally say you're not going anywhere when you have to take your tax money, or your girlfriend got to take her tax money or money that she worked for very hard and go pay for studio time. They tell you say you're not going anywhere, my brother. Go sit down somewhere. Just start wasting our time. Just get serious. Just get serious. Especially in the country. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time. Because before you make up your mind, you pass 35 now. The only thing we'll see you doing now, you either weed smoker or you passing around, you join with the other people in a causing problem, then you from jail to jail. If you are invested that time into getting a good job or something that will change your mindset, stop wasting your time, my friend. You can't sing past Michael Jackson. You can't sing past other people in the country. Why are you getting yourself out of town? Why? Go join the military. Go do something with your life. Go join the police. Go be productive. And you violent? Fine. And you like fighting, baby? Go join the police. It will help calm you. Go get a job. Go do something. Passing around all day, and I see some of these women passing around enhancing this stupid behavior and this nonsensical thought in your head, talking about, you will make it one day and go and be spending your money. Be wasting your money. Be wasting your money. You get what to do yourself. Please, your goal. For you to keep that money for your children in college tuition, you'll be buying studio time. Be buying airtime in studio. Please, I beg you, I hold your feet. You'll continue to buy studio time, yeah? Please, don't buy studio time, you waste your time. All you waste your time. Anybody wants to say a judgmental of your business, we'll say the facts and we'll say the truth. Because this is some of the things that's keeping our community behind. Some people have the fear of intimacy, inability to open up. Some people also, they have few or no relationship. Some of these things could be caused by different issues as well. Some people are just afraid because of their past experiences. And all of these things are part of isolation. But let's move forward. What are some of the consequences of isolation? What are some of the consequences? When you are isolated, you have fewer friends, you lack intimacy, you lack relationship, poor romantic relationships, you are weak socially. Let me say it again. You are weak socially. Let me tell you something. Last week, I told you about how intimate I am with my family. Last week, I also told you that I've reached a stage where I pick my friends. Crooks are now my friends. Criminals are now my friends. Foolish people are now my friends. Listen, you want to say I'm judgmental? That's fine. You want to say, oh, you think you're better than other people? You think you get a better life than other people? That's fine. That's what you think in your head. You're projecting it on me. That's okay. I'm just stating the obvious. And the obvious here is when you reach this stage in the age of your life, you must pick your friends. You must. You can't afford for people to be picking you as friend. You cannot. Some of you, the problem you are in today, the noise that you're in, the drama in your life today, that the friends that you associate with, you're not people that can make noise, you're not into drama, but because the people you associate with, they don't want to bring all these things around you, and you stay there, and you think you're comfortable. Let it try it. Tomorrow Facebook will be on fire. Okay, after Facebook will be on fire, few minutes, you go home. Okay. Nothing happened. And you're looking for the next thing again. I'm seeing grown men, Liberian women on Facebook insulting one another, misbehaving, and just jumping around, talking things that they don't even know about. They don't even know people. They call people's name in their mouths. They don't know you. They don't know you. They call your names in their mouths. They don't know you. And the sad part about these things are people who are contributing nothing to society. I'm saying it. They're contributing nothing to society. Besides the temporary things that they do on Facebook, wherein other people are at the working place, making their hours, and they're pumping them up. And you're like, this show was hot today. This show will be hot tomorrow. This show was hot today. Oh my God, the other cheese. Oh, the other topic was too hot. The other social losers gather together. The children are watching them. And the grown women can be doing these things, though. And that's small children. Bunch of grown women pack up together. Bunch of isolated people. If you check the record, they have no relationships with their family. They have no relationships in their life. Facebook is the only relationship they have. That's why they come and misbehave. So they recruit other miserable people to come and misbehave. Very sad and pathetic for our community. When we have so much potential. We have so much potential. So much potential in our community. When you say it, they say, oh, you let this, you let that. Listen, we have to say the hardcore truth to one another. We cannot continue like this. We're so grown. Let's build some positive relationship. Let's build it. And if anybody thinks it, my coming on Facebook for me to sit there and pamper you and me, you be on that level. We're not on that level. I will say the raw way. Me, I'm a Liberian man. I will talk it the raw way. Forget about that book, or whatever. We're talking the raw way and we'll relate to all of us. We need to check ourselves. Consequences of being isolated, it can lead to loneliness. Isolation can lead to a wide range of negative health consequences, including cardiovascular disease, depression, substance use, stress, and suicide. Yes, I agree to it. These are the factors that these consequences can lead to. These are things that it can lead to. These are things that it can lead to. These are things that it can lead to. Some people, listen, some people you come and talk about them and just talk a brick because you are broken, you are isolated, you just come on Facebook and just talk about their personal lives and so forth. and it break them down to get into that point where they want to harm themselves. And you think that joke, just for a few minutes fame or whatever it is. These are not joke. These are not joking things. And I will say it again. If you have a husband or a man in your life, if you have a husband or a man in your life, and you are coming on Facebook and misbehaving, and that man cannot tell you to post up to that nonsense, you need to check, you need to leave that man. You need to leave that man. Because the man you get behind you. You married to somebody. Let's say, for example, you married, and you come on Facebook and misbehaving. And now your partner need behind you again, that the man need behind you. So when you misbehave on Facebook, that means that your husband need you and man to misbehave. So when people decide to insult, they insult your husband. And when your husband sitting there while they insulting him, and he can't tell you to put yourself together and stop this nonsense, you need to question that man. For those of you who are Christian, let me say this to you. I don't think we would have been here where we are today if Adam had been a man enough to open his mouth and speak when Eve was misbehaving. The pastor then that taught you say Adam was not there, and Eve gave the apple to Adam, and Eve later on Adam came, Eve gave the apple to Adam to eat. That's a lie. That story that they taught us in Sunday school, lie to us. Our Sunday school teacher lie. The pastor lie to us. The Bible says, and Adam was right there. Once Eve ate of the fruit, and she gave to him. You know what that nonsense happened? Adam stood right there, it happened. Adam was standing right there. Yeah, go think about it. Go read your Bible. Go. It said, and she gave to him. It said, later on, Adam kept quiet. Adam shut him off, kept quiet. We're not talking. Let me tell you something. And we say part of intimacy that communication. Communicate with them. Communicate with the woman that you're with. Tell us to stop this. It's counterproductive. And if you're not married and get your pa last name behind you, your pa should be able to speak to you, to tell you to behave and fall in line. And maybe you will say, maybe your pa is not alive. You get boyfriend, or you get somebody that you're sleeping with, whether you claim a serious relationship or whatever it is. I don't care however title you want to give it, that's your business. That person should be able to stop me and say, cut this nonsense off and behave yourself. You don't have a boyfriend, whatever it is, your mom, your pa, your sister, and your brother. Those brothers that are sitting and seeing their sister and misbehaving on Facebook, shame on you. And those sisters that are sitting and seeing their brother misbehave, shame on you. And if you are above the age of 18 and your mom is misbehaving on Facebook, shame on you. Tell your mom to stop that nonsense. I'm saying it to you. Some of you will watch this. You will get mad. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But these are facts. What are we teaching our children? Because you are hurt, it doesn't mean you pass around and hurt other people. That's not what it means. Do you know what it is when you pass around and talk about other people's life and other people's marriage and other people's relationships? Do you know what you're breaking? Listen, if somebody call you and say, my husband did this, my wife did this, then that person said they should go to a counselor, or you know the liability? You know the problem you're trying to create? What if those people want to mend their relationships later? What do? Don't facilitate this kind of nonsense. You are not a therapist. Even we who are trained to do these things, we don't put people on the blast to go and do that. You tell me what time Dr. Phil now bring two people on his show for them to come and not find a solution to the problem. Because when you're finished with all of that, you're not finding a solution to that problem. No solution to that problem. You're finished bringing noise in the people who they not come and expose themselves. There is no other solution. The next thing that they got to revert to some kind of divorce or some kind of legal problem. Then you'll move on to the next. To those of you who can be looking for places to go talk your problem, in this country, they got counselors, they got therapists. Look at your insurance policy. Maybe you qualify for a go there and talk. Leave these people who don't have no solutions to your problems. They're looking for a way to cover up their own problems because they themselves got problems in their homes. When last did they come and talk about their problem? For you to be running to them. You better wake up. You better wake up. This is serious. This is creating a lot of problems. Let's move forward so we can end this. Loneliness. can affect overall health in ways. For an example, socially isolated people tend to have unhealthy diet, exercise less, experience greater day fatigue, and have poor sleep. Also, isolation, people who are isolated, they might not share deep intimacy with their partners, or might even struggle to develop relationships at all. This can be difficult, particularly as the individual watch friends and acquaintances fall in love, get married, and start a family. Yes, these things can happen. I want to read this last part and I'll get to this because we're running out of time here really quick. I know I've been talking a lot, but we're running out of time here for us to get this cleared out. Okay, because I have a meeting I have to jump on right after here, so I look at the time here. But part of isolation, the problem we have also is people who are isolated. Ways that we can let's get to the ways that we can deal with. We can overcome some of this isolation. But before we get to that, let me point this out to you, and we'll talk about it in time to come. People who have experienced trauma in their lives, especially women who have experienced trauma in their life, tend to have problems with relationships. And we'll talk about it a little more, but it's important also to teach men and to teach some of these women how to navigate that process. Let me say it again, not that they don't want to be good women, not that they want to be problematic women. It's just that the impact of the trauma affect them. And so the way they relate, the way they coordinate, the way they communicate, and the way they do things might be a little different. So they will need time, they will need security, they will need support, they will need love, they will need comfort, they will need reassurance. But again, we'll talk about that another time. But let's get to ways that we can overcome some of this isolation. The ways we can overcome some of these isolations, first of all, you have to avoid negative self-talk. I mean, stop looking down on yourself. I said it earlier on. Listen, if there is no man on earth confident about himself than me, I say it to you today. Go ask all my friends who know me. I'm confident about myself. I'm very confident, so I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to take a decision alone. I'm not afraid to go against the group's decision, especially when it's wrong. I'm not afraid. Oh, no, I'm not afraid. Ask people who know me. As a matter of fact, the first time I moved to Arizona, I was part of a soccer team. But they thought I was the trouble on the team because when I see wrong, I pointed it out. Where everybody was falling in line and doing the typical Liberian thing, where everybody got to suck up and they want to say the truth, they see wrong, but they're talking in their throat. I didn't do that. I don't have no time for that. Oh, no way. I say as it is and we move. People got to respect me for that. People got to see my stance on those kind of things. Anytime I see wrong in a group, I say it. When things were not going right, I point it out. And I try to point solutions. So you see, it's okay for you to be confident in yourself. I'm not saying pass around, look down on other people. I'm saying be confident in yourself. So avoiding negative self-talk. When you catch yourself having this thought, this inner dialogue, focus on replacing this negative stuff with positive. If you're afraid to go to school, you're afraid to take this test, to take this journey, say, I will take it. Don't be afraid of failure. I will take this journey. You're afraid to start your own business, try it. You're afraid to get a new job, try it. If you've been having a job that's been paying you $5 an hour, or whatever it is, it's okay for you to apply for a $7 or $10 an hour job. Apply. Take these kind of initiatives. Do them. If you're afraid to live by yourself because you've been living with your parents so much, you reach the age where you need to live by yourself, get you an apartment. Do something. Another thing also to avoid isolation, you need to build. You need to build your skills, like I was saying earlier. Practice some social skills. They can be helpful to you. Working with other people. Practice healthy social, self skills. Tell yourself, say, listen, I'm going to try when I go today. I know my girls that will try, or my boys that will try to encourage me for the smoking. I don't want to smoke it. I'm not going to smoke it. I don't care what to do. If it costs me to leave early from there, maybe because I'm getting too tempted, I will leave early. Start to practice some of these things. Practice makes perfect and permanent. Practice some of these things. Another thing you also have to do again is to, after you avoid, you build. Make some determination. Examine yourself. Such as, what kind of determination are you going to make? Try to determine what are your interests. What are activities you like to engage in that are interesting of you to build long-lasting friendship? What are qualities you look for in friendship, in people that you even build friendships or relationships with? What are you looking forward to? What are you looking for? I'm not saying pass around and exploit people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what are values? What are morals? What are things in people that align with you? What are some of those things that align with you? If they don't align with you, that's okay. You don't have to be friends. It's okay. The last thing you can do is you have to evaluate yourself or evaluate the situation. Figure out what you're looking for in a partner or friend, like I said earlier, to help determine how you should go about in your new relationship. Listen, you will have to figure that out. Nobody will figure that out for you. You have to do these things for yourselves. I'm going to put a number here. In the next 5 minutes, we'll take 1 or 2 calls. If you have my number, feel free. If you want to contribute, if there's anything you want to say or do, that's fine. You want to disagree with me, it's okay too. I don't have no problem with that. Part of the educational process. Maybe I can learn from you. Maybe, who knows? But these are things we need to do. These are things we need to do. It is our responsibility. And we need to take on those responsibilities. We definitely do. No one will take it on for us. Intimacy versus isolation. Once you get to this stage, you need to understand that you have some responsibilities. Let me put the number on here. All right, I'll put the number up here. Okay, we'll take a few calls. 480-401-2081. Feel free, call me. If you have any question, any concern, any reservation, we'll give you the next 5 more minutes. And then we'll close up the show for today. I want to thank our viewers and our listeners. In the meantime, while we're waiting for calls or input, while we're waiting for it, I want to announce to you the next Friday will not be airing. We'll pick up the following Friday. I also want to announce to you that tomorrow will be on for the political aspect of our conversations. Will be on tomorrow. We want to welcome all of you to the show tomorrow. And let's look forward to it. So again, we'll give it the next 5 more minutes to see what's going on as we open the line. So 5 more minutes here, and after that 5 minutes, after those 5 minutes, I'm gone. I will give it out of 5 more minutes. I ain't one of those that. After those 5 more minutes, I'm giving it. Yo. After 5 minutes, I'm giving it. After 5 more minutes, I'm giving it. So they don't bother you looking noisy. After 5 more minutes, we're out. Any call, anybody? What silent means consent? That means you agree to what we're saying. Telvi, you here today. It's a wonder you haven't called. That's good. It's a wonder you haven't called. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think our 5 minutes, the 5 minutes going up here, going up once, going up twice, going up once, going up twice. Okay, I think I'm getting a call here. Let me see. Oops, the caller hang up. Wait a minute. Caller, come in there. Come call you back.
Technician to my door. I was just about to call, but I got a technician to my door.
Yeah, but the people hearing now, so the people hearing, so what's going on?
Oh, they can hear me. Well, you want to call when you don't have. How are you? You can come in. Let me just do it quickly. Got the technician just walking.
All right.
No, I wanted to give it to your cause to call in, but since it didn't call, I just want to say thank you so much for the information you shared. It was very resourceful and timely. And so thank you. I enjoyed the show and thank you for the rich information you shared. That's all I have to say.
All right.
Over there.
Thank you,
All right.
Telvi.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Telvi has someone to her door. But thanks to Telvi for calling on at least. Anyone else before we call it a day? Because I do have a meeting that I'm supposed to be on the next few minutes here. So I wanted to make sure at least I allocate time for your contribution, your views. Okay, we'll give it 1 more minute. We'll give it 1 more minute and we'll call it a day. Well, I'd like to thank you. Thanks to all of you for being here with us today. Again, next Friday will not be on. We'll be on the following Friday to pick up for the next topic on here. I am looking forward to the next conversation. I just want to make sure I give you the rundown on what we will talk about next. Let me bring it on your screen. I think I need to go back. Okay, I think I'm getting a caller here. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Hi, I'm sorry I'm calling so late.
You're who?
I'm sorry that I called so late. I know you said me about it. I'll just talk for 2 minutes. This is Gwen. I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan. I'm actually at work right now. That's why it was kind of delayed for me to call.
Hey,
but
Gwen.
I'm talking about being intimate. Just wanted to say something. It is true that we think that intimacy is between husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. But it was good that you educated us on the fact that parents can be intimate through their children.
Mm-hmm.
Intimate in a sense of listening, just being there,
Mm-hmm.
talking to them. You could find what that child needs. Some children just need for you to listen to them. Some of them need cuddling. And I myself, I am guilty of not giving that to my children 100% because from my background, my mom didn't hug, she didn't kiss, she didn't love me like that. She provided.
Right.
Sent me to school, gave me food, bought me clothes, and that was it. Made sure I was educated. So my first 3 older children, I was like that with them. But the children that I've had in the States, and then my middle child, who is my 25-year-old daughter, who is very verbal, she came at me, told me, Mom, you spend all your time working, you don't do this. And she didn't tell me all of that until she became an adult. And then she stood up to me. Mom, you spend all your time working, you provide for us, we live in this big house, but you are not here, you and Dad working all the time to send money to Liberia all the time. What is all of this for? And then I had to sit back. And then my last child, who is now 15 years old, she was the one that always came to me, hug me, kiss me, tell me, Mom, I love you. And then I began to open up and say, hey, my parents didn't do this to me, but I can do it for my children. And I began to tell my children, hey, call them. My big girl, she lives out of state now. She lives in California, but I call her, check on her. Hey, Mama, I love you. Anything you want to tell me. That was something that I didn't do before. My son, my big boy, he's 28. I would talk to him too. We would laugh, like adults talk about, hey, what's happening with your girlfriend and stuff like that. But I began to open up and begin to be more intimate. I have an 18-year-old who will be graduating from high school. She came to me, she said, Mom, I don't feel good. I think I have ADHD. I'm like, you don't have ADHD because now I'm trained. I'm a trained health professional and advanced practice. But then I was looking at all her symptoms and I'm like, no, you don't have ADHD because this is a 4.0 student that can do anything. She kept telling me, Mom, that's okay. I'm going to take myself out of this thing and I would treat her like I would treat any patient. So I referred her to a doctor who told her, hey, you don't have ADHD. But because of COVID, many children stay home for 2 years now, not going out to socialize. They are depressed and try to put her on something or give her therapy that will help her condition. And I kind of like pat myself on the back because at least I got myself out of the picture and I was able to listen to her. So thanks again for all the information given. Sometimes I want to contribute, but it cannot work at night, and I cannot, but I appreciate your information. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thanks for calling. Well, we will. Thanks. We'll call it a day here. We have to run for another meeting, but it's always an honor being here. Thank you. Week after next, we'll talk about middle age, generative versus stagnation. We'll talk about it next week after next, which I think will be the 22nd weekend. The 22nd. Again, will not be airing next week for next Friday for mental health and wellness. So we got 2 more topics we have to cover on human growth and development, and then we'll start going into some generalized, specialized, and other things. Before we get to that point, starting off next week, we'll start asking for your views as to which topic you want for us to focus on or you would like for us to discuss, just to get insight from you as we develop or look into our topics that we have. And maybe we can push one over the other, but we definitely look to continue on this. And as time goes by, we'll be inviting 1 or 2 other people to join us as guests. Some of them might be able to talk about their own stories to get it a little more interactive. We're just starting off the educational part, the teaching part as this, just to lay the basic and the foundation here so that we can have something to work on, or to work with. But I want to thank all of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Thanks to those who called, those who couldn't make it a call. Happy weekend. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of noise and drama. Do something healthy, do something healthy, and try to change your routine and see. Thank you, and Thank you. Let me go find a friend. I got a couple of friends watching me, but I don't know if they'll still be my friends after today. So let me go find new friends.
Lump.
Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me.
Bombe oh, find a friend like me. Bombe jene oh, find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me.